Recording.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, why not? Given that my face is like clashing with my hair for some reason. It's not that hot in Scotland, but somehow it seems to be that warm today. But anyway, so I'm Kat. I talk nonsense, as you can tell. So what do? I work with solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small business owners, whatever the heck label you want to put on yourself, I will work with you. And I deal with mindset, I deal with mindfulness, I do productivity stuff. Do you know what? I am just a Jill of all trades, which is something I tell people not to be. Okay. So, but here's the bottom line. I work with small business owners, all of you guys, to move you from A to B and as fast as time possible. Kick up the arse, kick up the boohookie, and I get you moving. So no excuses, wash with me. It's about getting you moving and getting you onto your business and getting focused. That's me. Kara.
I'm Kara. I do social media.
Slightly
right?
more than that. Yeah.
A little bit more complicated, but not really. I mean, so Kara Chase, and I am a social media strategist. And I help brands and small businesses and solopreneurs, kind of the same audience as Kat deals with, figure out social media and how to use it productively, effectively, efficiently, how to not get sucked down the rabbit hole of Facebook and anything else that you're into, whether it's Twitter or Pinterest or whatever, how to get in and get out and use it in a way that works for your business and not waste a whole bunch of time doing it so you can get back to the business of running your business. So Kat and I overlap so well because we're both all about efficiency and productivity. And social media is one of usually the top 3 ways that a small business owner loses their productivity, which is Kat's, wheelhouse, how to manage energy, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we try to get on as often as we can. It's always on Thursday. For me, on the Pacific coast of the U.S., it's 9:30 a.m. For Kat, it's 5:30, right?
It is indeed. And I've just noticed, Stephen, you've joined us. I'm assuming you're in Paisley or Glasgow because you're in our little group. And I know I've met you through the college. God love you. Thank you for coming back in and putting up with more of my nonsense.
Hi. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, so we're here. Yeah, as Kat says, we try and get on here almost every week, but we'd never commit ourselves to that because that's just how we roll.
Right. Sometimes other things happen.
Yeah, life just gets in the way. And this is one thing both Kat and I are really passionate about is giving it warts and all version of running a business and being a solopreneur or CEO of your business. It's tough. It can be really difficult sometimes. In fact, a lot of the time, and you can want to chuck in the towel. But what we're not here to do is wax lyrical about how it's all unicorns, shit and rainbows, and it's all, it's lovely. Because it's the hardest thing we've probably ever done, but it's definitely the best thing I've ever done. I don't regret that at all. But so I don't mean to be negative. It's just that we don't kind of pontificate on our theories about stuff. We've usually been.
We're going through it. We're figuring it out. We're going through it. And we talk about, what's working for us and what isn't and how to help each other and how to move through, whether it's working with clients as a small business owner or it's, I've found this social media platform to be really effective in this way, but not this way, whatever it is. But yeah, we don't talk about a bunch of theory and we're not the people that are like, fill out this 2-page worksheet and you'll be on your way to a 6-figure course in 3.
I am sick today of seeing photographs of women lying on beaches on Facebook with come and join my 6- and 7-figure business. Bog off. I'm not interested. Well, it just feels false. And actually, see if they were being authentic, and they might very well be. And I'm not trying to diss all of that stuff, but right. it just doesn't speak to me. It doesn't tell me the how part of how you get to that stage. And I find it so frustrating that there's especially a lot of new people in business who are taken in by that and think there's this almost feels like a get rich quick, an old fashioned get rich quick scheme. And it probably isn't, but that because everybody's doing the same thing, it feels very icky. I don't know about you. Yeah.
No. So I see that mostly on Instagram because I spend a lot more time on Instagram than I do on Facebook. Yeah. And I'm constantly getting the follows from people where they like a couple of my photos, make a comment that doesn't really have anything to do with my photo on one of my photos, and then they follow me. And so I click through to their profile and it's like, oh, work from anywhere, find out how. Here's me, in a luxury car. And it's so obvious. And it's so spammy. Yeah. And so here's the thing though. That's obvious. I don't fall for it. I don't think a lot of people fall for it anymore, although it must kind of work because they're all out there still doing it. Yeah. What's more of an issue for me, and I've been here as a year ago starting my business, is those 6-figure show you how to build your course, all that kind of stuff that have fantastic sales copy.
Yeah.
And they're really good at it. They're really good at marketing.
Yep.
And you get in there and you pay the money or you spend your time on the webinar or whatever it is, and you realize they didn't actually tell me anything.
Yeah.
They didn't actually tell me the steps that I need to take. And I'm a very process-driven person, just like you. I'm like, what's step 1? What's step 2? What's step 2A? Like,
yeah.
And I'm not going to pay somebody $300, $600, however many $100 if I don't know that. And telling me, oh, I'll show you how to do it is not the same thing as here's exactly what you're going to learn and how you're going to learn it.
Yeah.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the how-to thing definitely is what is missing from a lot of the courses out there. And and they're everywhere. And as I say, I'm not having a general go because we're doing a course, but it's very process driven. It's very about, this is why you need to start here. There's context around it. Well, I mean, that's what I'm hoping it comes across because that's how we want to learn. Because what I hate is, particularly in, I've seen it a lot in Facebook ads. Somebody starting out, they want to learn Facebook ads and they say, oh, just go into your Power Editor, create your graphic and then choose your audience. But yes, that's a how-to, but it's not then telling you how to get those results, how to get your return on your investment, who you should be targeting, how to set up those audiences. I want it, like you say, it's like 2, 2.1, 2.11, point A,
right?
Whatever.
Then do this. Not put up a Facebook ad. Make sure your targeting is defined and your graphics are good. Good luck.
Yeah, you're like, it's so big. It's so big. I know we're not. I think we're just not in that mindset. So I think for me, I'm always a bit confused when I do see those types of courses out there. That I think, right, what is the meat on the bones, so to speak? I can see the structure, and I find that if I happen to jump on, say they're running a webinar to go, to give you a bit more information, you can usually tell pretty quickly because if you ask any questions, it's kind of, oh, right, don't really want to answer those questions, and you never really get an answer to the real straightforward. What is it that I'm going to learn? It's all usually very good at, as you say, good at marketing, good at all the copy part of it. But I really want to get to know.
Well,
and you go, are you still there?
Oh, sorry, your audio's cut out. I don't know if it's you or it's me.
You not still hear me?
Me.
Oh, you look frozen to me.
Can you hear me? You're totally frozen.
Oh God! Right,
Now you're on audio only. Okay, so I can at least hear you now.
Okay, yes, I could hear. I can see us both. I can hear. Chris is saying he can hear both of us. So, can you still hear me?
Oh, I'm not getting. Oh, I see both of you. Okay, interesting. I don't know. Blab, get your shit figured out. Come on.
Do you want me to jump out and jump back in again?
You can try. That might be good.
Okay, you stay there. Can you see me now?
Yes.
No? Yes, cool. Okay.
Nice.
We'll get there.
What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about like these courses that have really good copy, and I can feel it. Like I open up my email and I feel myself getting sucked in because their copy is so good, and it's so like, oh yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, that's what I want. Oh yeah, that's, whatever. And then I literally have to check myself and be like, no, this is not right for me.
Yeah.
I have so many courses and things that I've learned, and what I need to be spending my energy on right now is taking action.
Yeah, definitely.
Not on learning more things, because I've already done the learning the more things.
Yeah. Who was it that said, somebody, I heard it recently, that they turned into a course whore? Like, so they just like buy all these courses, but then never actually take action. And we are quite the opposite of that. So Cara and I are admittedly going to be doing a webinar soon. We are admittedly going to be running a course together, but yes. Oh my God, you better be prepared to come into our space.
You better be prepared to like, oh, okay, like I actually have to do this, and this is exactly how you do it, and I don't have any more excuses now.
Yeah, we don't do fluffy, we don't do excuses, we don't give out hankies. We basically tell you to get it done. So,
get it done.
So I'm sensing that I could turning people off. I did laugh, but you probably laughed at the thing I'd posted. So I've got a little private community of which, Stephen, you're still here. You're part of that as well. And I posted about a webinar. Most people are like, yeah, come to my webinar. It'll be lovely. And I was like, look, a webinar is a webinar. We don't like that name. And it is what it is. So please just come and join us. And I thought, I really, this is where I am being me, and maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot sometimes, but I can't be that spammy, salesy person. It goes against everything I stand for. And you kind of hope that because it's in my group that people will get that, they will understand that and think, actually, Kat, we know what you're like. So, yeah, I can't help but be honest. What's happening now?
No, the audio, I was getting like every third word.
Oh no, this is crap. Right, hold on. Oh.
Yeah, funny, the whole webinar thing. Like here's my thoughts on that. Webinar has become synonymous with kind of skeezy, the salesy, like I'm going to give you 15 minutes of bullshit information and then 30 minutes of selling my course for, $9.99, whatever. But people know what a webinar is. You know what I mean? So it's that juxtaposition of, if you start calling it something else, will anybody know what it is? And the worst thing that you can do that I figured out in the last year is confusing your audience.
Yep.
When you confuse your audience, they don't show up. They don't know what to expect. That it might not be the right people.
Yeah.
So I still haven't figured out. Mini course doesn't. The first thing I think of when I hear mini course is this paid or not?
Yeah. Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Oh, this is so frustrating.
I'm getting just some garble, and it's like freezing off and on.
Right. Okay.
Oh, now it's audio only, and now I can totally hear you.
God. Right. I'm going to jump out. Can you hear that? I'm going to jump out.
Yes.
And
yes.
Try again.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Did you take a GIF, Chris? Hold on. I was probably making a face. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I do. Thanks. Thanks for that, Chris. Appreciate it. So I'll just talk, I guess. Oh, there she comes. Isn't that great? Thank you, Chris.
That is genius. Love it.
Genius.
I don't know how to do that. So that's what I get distracted with. I'm like, oh, how do you do that?
How do you do that? Let's go do that. Yeah. So talking about distracted, what are we talking about? Webinars, terminology. So when I think of mini course, I think, well, is this paid or not? Yeah. Like that term is not clear to me as far as, no, it's a free training, it's a whatever. When I think mini course, because when I think course, I think paid.
Yeah.
So mini course to me is like, well, it's just smaller and I'm going to pay less.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I think that you're right, because people are familiar with the term webinar, but it still conjures up a real spammy, I'm going to talk about me for 20 minutes and my journey. And then I'm going to talk about something but not really tell you much about it. And then I'm going to sell to you. So I have no issue. I'm always upfront about, like, it's a webinar and, you know, we're going to sell something. Am I gone again? Oh, this is just, right. Hold on.
No, I'm getting like every other word.
Right, hold on. Bear with me.
Can you hear in of us? Is there like one of us I see, the hard thing is I don't know if it's me or if it's her, because you can hear both of us. Okay, I'll come back on.
Okay,
I'll be back.
Cool.
I'm back.
Can you see us both?
I can't see you. I can see audio only.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm going to give it one more bash to reconnect. Okay, it might be Minicam that's doing this pants. So.
Oh yeah, get out the hankies, right? No crying and blabbing. There's no crying and blabbing. So Chris, what do you think about the whole terminology of webinar versus mini course versus, I mean, are there any other terms that you've heard to describe like the free webinar thing? Tell me, let me know.
Oh, for God's sake.
Got to change it. Okay, so I just see, please start Minicam.
Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Right.
There she goes. Cat looks different, right? You're right. It's so ingrained. So it's like, I'd rather call it a webinar and have people know what I'm offering and know that it's free, know that it's going to be training, and have them, I don't know, pleasantly surprised that I'm not being all salesy, skeezy, talking about myself and trying to upsell them the whole time. I don't know. I think maybe some of that is building the brand awareness and building a following that you do on social media and digital marketing and everything else. That you just have to build that brand as that's what people expect from you. Yeah, I think maybe, there you are. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry about all
that. Minicam.
Yeah, and it wouldn't let me shut it down. Anyway, sorry, you were talking. Carry on.
So yeah, I think maybe you're right, Chris. Like those of us on the inside that offer them or, you know, are in the business or whatever, we feel more yucky about it than people that are taking it. That's a really good point. Yeah. So yeah, I'm more comfortable calling it a webinar than a mini course, actually.
Okay. What about info bomb?
Did you see that the other day? Where did I put that?
I love it. Thought that was I can't remember. Maybe was it your group or I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Oh, it was in the badass group.
So yeah, I think we should go with info bomb. I like that.
Info bomb. I like that. Recorded online info bomb.
Free. Yeah. So no, we totally need to do that so yeah, we call it a webinar. And we're totally going to do one for our course, so it's going to be.
So yeah, we've been talking, obviously, for months now about social media and productivity, and we started Blab as just kind of a fun joint. I mean, I went on a couple times before you did, but quickly realized it'd be much more fun with you.
Shucks.
I just started doing, just talking about what we know. I know how to use social media really effectively and really like honing in on exactly what you need to do. And you are like the productivity mindset solopreneur queen. And so we just started, what?
I said, I like to think so.
I like to think so. So, we just started with the whole, like, we're just going to talk about what we know and talk about the issues that come up, talk about what works for us, talk about what it's like to be trying to figure all this out as business owners ourselves. And we realized that we needed to actually do a course. We needed to offer this to people that, could not be on a Blab on Thursday at 9:30 a.m. and would never get around to watching the replay because they're too busy scrolling on Facebook because they don't know how to be efficient and productive. Yeah. So
we are
doing a webinar mini course free info bomb on May 19th. And should I put the link in again?
Yeah, do that.
Webinar.biz. Yeah. Info bomb. Yeah. Mini course infobomb.biz. So it'll be the light version of the course that we're offering for sale. Oops, $10 down the drain. That's funny. Nice. Domain terrorist. And we're basically going to be, teaching everybody everything that we know about, like, how to get your shit straight. What we talk about on Blabs every other weekish.
I think this is the thing about it, Cara, isn't it? Sorry, I'm just jumping in there. But we talk about it every week. But actually being able to show people what we're talking about is probably why we put this together. Because I don't know about you, but I love to talk about it and I love to get people to get their shit done. I love it. But actually being able to show somebody, like, this is how you do it. This is not about diary management, people. That would be dull. I wouldn't sign up for that. Don't sign up for that. It's not diary management.
That's a webinar.
That's a webinar right there. It's not one that I'll be attaching my name to. But that's the thing. It's about you and your ability to manage your time, and social media is not just doing social media like 3 times a day.
Not just checking a box.
It's none of that. So what Karen and I are really passionate about, hence putting it together, is actually, how do you do this? How do we do it? Because if it's one thing we're good at in our businesses, I can do my productivity and I can keep myself on track. And Karen knows her shit when it comes to social media, but we do want to share it. Obviously, we can't do that every Thursday. We talk about it as much as we can. But putting it into practice is a very different thing. And we learn from one another as well, and some stuff works for some people. And I think that's what we're good at as well, is you might have one task to do, but there's maybe 3 ways of doing it, because not all of those ways, fit you as a person. It doesn't fit into your day or how your brain works. It's like, we've always talked about social media, and Hootsuite comes up a lot. And you always go, yeah, like that dashboard is like so counterintuitive. I genuinely don't know who designed it. Whereas Buffer, you can go in and you know what to do, you can see what you need to do, and it's really straightforward. So it's kind of for some people, Hootsuite's going to just light them up inside like a Christmas tree. So it's kind of, here are different ways to do your thing. Choose one, try them all, stick with it for a little bit, and then you'll learn pretty quickly what works for you and what doesn't. And it's like apps. Like, people always talk about apps when it comes to productivity. Yeah,
you've got to find what works for you. And I've been through, my God, in the last year, so many different iterations of how to get through my day as a small business owners, and how I'm going to do that effectively. And every time I onboard a new client or a project clears off my plate, or like I have to reevaluate, what am I doing? And I've been through, everybody says, oh, do time blocking. Well, that whole, like, from 9 to 10 a.m., I am going to be on Feedly curating content. First of all, my immediate like rebel kicks in. Like I tell myself, you can't tell me what to do. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I get that reaction of like, you are not the boss of me. Internally, right? If you tell me from 9 to 10 a.m. you have to do this every day, I'm going to be like, no, F you. No, I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if anybody else deals with that, but literally like I'm my own worst rebel. Like it's just ridiculous. So, and it never fails that something comes across that I have to deal with immediately that knocks me off the schedule. And I'm the kind of person where I hang on to my schedule with my fingernails. And if something knocks me off, the rest of the day is effed. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I was like, okay, so time blocking doesn't work for me. And then I look at my Google Calendar and I see the whole thing looks like freaking, you know, Technicolor vomit all over it. I'm like, I don't even want to look at this.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, so time blocking doesn't work for me because that schedule doesn't work for me. And I'm a mom too. So it's like, it's just all messy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, then I need to come up with a list of things that I just need to accomplish every day, right? So not time blocking, but what do I need to accomplish every day? And if I just go by checklist and not by time, maybe that'll be better. Mm-hmm. Well, what I noticed with that was that everything was getting half done because I had such a long to-do list every day. And the more clients I had, the more it was like, okay, like everything's getting half done. And I have this constant like stuff hanging over my head kind of thing. So I did that for a couple months and was like, I'm like losing sleep. I'm going to bed at midnight every night. This is just not working. And then when so it was like the pendulum swung one way and then the pendulum swung the other way. And what I finally settled on in the middle, which is working for me for the time being, is not time blocking, but day blocking. So I have specific projects and clients that I have a day or a half a day dedicated to them. So I know like Monday, I do my own content and I work on the website for this project.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I work on this client and this client. Wednesday, I work on my own education. Like that's the day where I go and read tons of articles and what's new in social media and whatever. And I work on this other client. And so I've kind of tricked myself into, I'm not telling myself what to do.
Yeah.
And what I have to do when, and I don't have this like running to-do list that never gets done and causes me all sort of hate and discontent and anxiety. But I am getting things done in a very consistent manner that is like, okay, I know I'm going to have 2 to 3 hours to work on this today, and I don't need to get to 15 other things.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about is how to figure out how to do all of those things. And I realize like what I just talked about is really more Kat's realm. But I have done kind of the same thing with social media in general, as a small business owner and how you do that for social media. So
but that's the thing, it affects everybody. So we're kind of in the course, and really that's that I'm teaching people is because you run a small business, you know what it's like to wear 23 hats and spin 7 plates every day, as do we all. And you've still got a to-do list the length of your arm, but it's how you tackle it that counts. And what's been really interesting is Cara uses bullet journaling. I'm assuming you're still doing it that way. What I love about bullet journaling is, and I've watched you post a couple of things, I think on Instagram, and really interesting is to watch the iterations of, right, this is what's working for me just now, I'm going to try that. Yep. That doesn't, page turns, and this is what's brilliant about bullet journaling. You can literally turn the page and start a whole new format and a whole new way, and it doesn't matter what's gone before because you still got the same things on your list and it still all migrates forward, but you can set it up in whatever way suits you because it's essentially a blank page. It's just how you structure it that counts. So you're absolutely right. You need to test what works for you. And I'm a big believer, as you know, Cara, in the energy side of things. And I mean that as in, I don't do peopling very well. You know, if I have to go out and be in a room full of people, then I really need to lie down flat afterwards and have a stiff drink. It's kind of how it goes. So I would be mad to schedule like a peopling morning and then have to do another peopling thing in the afternoon. I try and avoid that. Obviously, there's going to be some days I just can't because of whatever on, or things happen last minute and you maybe need to go and meet somebody, or kind of go and do a presentation for your next sales or whatever the heck it is. But I protect my time like a polar bear mom, right? I grip onto that. And in that schedule, I'm still really flexible, but I go on how I feel. So I know the things I've got to get done, and then I slot them in. Right, okay, I can do peopling this morning. I'm happy to do peopling, and then I need to lie down. Or if it's the afternoon, I know that the following morning I'm still usually recovering, or I want to follow up. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sharing too much here, probably.
No.
But the next morning, I find that what I try and do is keep that first hour and a half clear to kind of regroup my thoughts again, get the little good cells ticking over, and then follow up. If I need to follow up with the people that I've met the day before, then I can do all that. And then I'm on again. But if I was to just schedule, I'll give you for instance. So last week, what day are we on just now? Oh, Thursday. Right. So last week was, oh my God, it was like the perfect storm. So I had a workshop to deliver on the Wednesday. I managed to catch a sickness bug from my friend's children on the Monday. I thought it was, oh my God, of course, I was just like, stop it, you're infecting me, right? So I ended up ill on Monday, and I thought, it's fine, the content's done for the workshop, I'm just really going through the kind of practice and the delivery part. Tuesday, I thought it'll be fine. Tuesday, still in my bed, lying on the couch, slank it over me, like reading my notes, thinking, oh, this is just a nightmare. And of course, you don't have anybody to step in for me. You don't have a clone. It's your head, the buck stops for you. And on the Wednesday, so the workshop wasn't just one workshop. It was 10 workshops back to back for 15 minutes to about 120 people.
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, by the time, and of course I'd been ill, so I wasn't really feeling that great when I arrived in the first place. You'd have been proud of me. I was jazz hands, the smile slapped on, I was going, and of course you tell people you're an introvert at that point, they're like, you're lying through your teeth. And I'm like, no, see you in the car, follow me to my car, you'll see what happens in 10 minutes. I was like a ticking time bomb. As soon as I'm done, I was like, okay, I need to go, I'm away now, cheerio, in the car.
Go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would have been mad to schedule the same kind of event the next day. So when I'm going out to do training and anything like that, I can't do it day after day after day. I really need to recharge the batteries. So it's been able to be sensitive to the changes, understand that your energy is like this, depending on the task that you have to do, and then fitting it in. So I love the fact that you're into day blocking, so you know what you've got to get done. But you've still got a bit of flexibility in that, Cara, about, right, I can do that in the morning. Something's came in left field. I can shovel that to later on that day. I just know that I need to get it done in that time slot. So, because willpower doesn't work, and powering through doesn't work. It's not a good place to be.
And here's the other thing that I figured out. Ooh, feedback.
What was that?
Are you hearing that feedback?
No,
it's gone now.
Okay.
So I basically have 3 time blocks in my day. I have the morning, I have the afternoon, and then I have after the kiddo goes to bed. Mm-hmm. And so it's not like, I end up working 8, 9, 10 hours a day, but it's broken up. And I don't schedule more than 2 time blocks a day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I know I have morning, afternoon, and then evening. I don't schedule 3 things to do every day. I schedule 2 things knowing something's going to get effed up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Something is going to happen. Even if it's just, you know what, I am tired because I didn't sleep well and I need to take a little break this afternoon. of an hour or two or, you know, whatever, or a client needs something right away. And so this project that I still need to get done has to get pushed to this evening after the kiddo goes to bed, you know, whatever it is. But I have learned that if I jam pack my day, something will always not get done. And then it's hanging over my head, in the back of my head, causing all of this, like, distraction.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, though.
Okay.
So I have something coming up where I am interviewing a whole bunch of people for a book that I'm writing, and I'm starting it in a little less than a month. And it's going to be like 20-minute Skype calls. Mm-hmm. So me knowing that I want to have at least a couple days a week where I don't actually have to put on real clothes or makeup or whatever, have scheduled, like, for next week, I have 5 or 6 scheduled Monday and Tuesday, back to back all day. And my thinking is I'd rather get it all out of the way and have the rest of the week to relax versus having to be on at some point every day this week.
Okay. I'm just going to...
Do you know what I mean?
I was just going to put my earphones in because I was getting a bit of feedback there. But okay, so are you asking me if that was the right thing to do? Or are you asking me, should I do that differently?
I'm just asking what your thoughts are. Like the whole getting it all out of the way so I have like entire days where I don't have to be on versus, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. So I suppose it is personal preference at the end of the day. I mean, you, what you would, you've gone. You just disappeared.
Oh no.
I'm just going to keep talking and you'll be back in a second. So yeah, it's personal preference. Oh, you're back. Hi. Don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
I'm just going to keep talking at you. So personal preference, I would normally say balance it with your energy. Do you really want to be peopling, knowing that you're not a peopler for that length of time normally? However, there's always merit in the kind of bigger picture. And if you know that the bigger benefit outweighs, i.e., you're going to have those 2 days where you're doing nothing else and it's out the way and it's behind you, then there's merit in thinking that way as well. It's just probably what you need to do is make sure that knowing that you're going to be doing that Skype thing back to back, you need to make sure your energy is at a certain level. Yeah, jazz hands always on, right? Just do it, rip off the plaster, do it. But I would say straight after you're done with the Skype thing, I don't jump straight into, yeah, have a drink. Yeah, I wasn't going to say don't drink. Yeah, I'll always drink.
Obviously.
But yeah, don't then jump into, right, I need to take all those notes or I'm going to forget them, or don't do that. As I always say, give your head space, that time to recombobulate.
Yes.
Recombobulate your brain. Even if it's half an hour or if it's an hour, or what kind of timing are they? What's the time block?
I estimate that each Skype is going to be 20 to 30 minutes, and I have them scheduled every hour. So I get a break between each one.
Okay. Right, so it's not completely back to back. There's still a space in between there. So yeah, I mean, if you're doing that and then you can have a kind of longer break at the end, that's definitely how I would do it. And then it's off your plate, as you say, and get more time. But yeah, in a perfect world, I would be saying, as a person like me with the peopling thing, yeah, I would have maybe done them over a couple of days if I had more time. But I know that you're mad keen to get started as well. So that's actually your main driver at the moment. That's your main motivator.
Do not lose that momentum and get going, because I'm so committed to it and I so want to do this and I'm excited to do it and I don't want it to get shoved off my plate.
So I think you've just answered it. See, because you're excited, your energy is going to be high because it's something that you love to do. So you can go for it. So whether it's people or not, you're still okay at the one-to-one thing. It's not as if you're having to go into a group of people for any length of time, and you're in control. And let's face it, if you did 3 or 4 and you felt really flat after it, then you can always shift them. You can always contact the people because you've got that buffer in between to say, right, I've got 20 minutes in between each call. So it's sensible, but I think with the very fact that you've said, I feel really excited about it, energy's high, so just go for it. and kind of ride the wave, ride the wave.
Chris, I love what you said about recording the conversation to use later, so that I can listen to it and not have to take notes. And what I have been actually doing is split screening and doing the Skype on one and then Evernote on the bottom. So I'm taking notes as we're talking.
That's a great idea.
So yeah, I think, and what I did, which I think was smart, is I only scheduled like I really want to talk to probably 20, 30 people, and I've only scheduled 10 because I want to see how 2 days of 5 calls each day goes before I commit to more and more and more.
And I think the other thing is, have you got a screening process for it, Cara? Because there's always the element of, whilst you maybe think you've got the right people to interview, they might turn out that they're not. So I suppose you can gauge the conversations there as well. And, if it's not going the way you feel, you can cut it short or go longer. But also just almost use that as your pilot group and then think if I need to do more, work out, actually, I need to do a bit of screening about who I'm going to actually bring in the first.
No, that totally makes sense. And and that's kind of why I only did the first 10, because I want to be able to reassess. Because when I did this, open call for people that I wanted to talk to, it was simply, are you a work from home mom? Doesn't matter if it's full-time or part-time. It doesn't matter what age your kids are, because I want to talk to the whole spectrum. But are you a work from home mom? In my experience, having done this kind of discovery call stuff previously, probably about 9 months ago, I did it for my business because I wanted to talk to people that I thought were my target audience. Yeah. And it became very obvious to me very quickly that people, so what I do in exchange is I'd like to pick your brain and you can pick my brain for some social media know-how. Yeah. There were people, and it's just like everything else, there were people that were super happy to give me all the information and elaborate and have a conversation about it. And it was a true back and forth, give and take. And then there were the people who gave me one-word answers and then would ask all about their Facebook and their Twitter and their, whatever. So it's kind of hard to screen for that. Yeah. And those are always the people that go over 20, 30 minutes and they, that kind of thing. And there's really no way to deal with that other than recognizing it for what it is. But this will definitely tell me if I need to define my, press the hang up button. If I need to define it a little more than, are you a work from home mom I want to talk to? Like, do you own your own business? Or it's not even that, like, moms that are trying to do the multi-level marketing, I want to talk to them as well. I want to, whatever. So, I think these first 10 people will be very interesting. Not only for, am I targeting the right people, but is this the right way to set it up for me? Back to my original question of, how should I set up all these meetings over the course of a couple days or the whole week or whatever? Yes. So I will report back.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. I need you to report back on that. See how that went. Especially in terms of the energy and the peopling part of it. But I think when you're excited about something, I've always said that when you're genuinely looking forward to doing something, your energy is going to be high anyway. So you don't really, and then you get a buzz off it and you're kind of buzzing, when you're finished. I had a coaching client on Sunday there. And it was great. You come off and you're like, oh my God, it's a natural high. You feel really good about it. And then you get an email in, something else that you've got to do, and you're like, you get something, you're like, oh, really didn't want that right now. But, so I would go for it. Just clear, get it done, ride the wave, and then have a couple of days to yourself because you're doing nothing. Anyway.
Right. I'm not really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's a laugh. It was the way doing the mindfulness thing today. I was just telling Cara before we come on air. It was the way teaching mindfulness, and you would think that's really chilled out and relaxed. I come away always shattered, because you're trying to fill everybody else's energy. It's that peopling thing again. But you would think, I'll just sit in the corner and be zen and ring a bell and no.
Light a candle.
If I could bottle it, I'd be a millionaire. But honestly, just came home and left that.
Yeah. Well,
then,
and what's challenging about doing the peopling or client work or whatever it is not only are you having to draw on your expertise and your skills and just imparting what you do and what you're teaching, you're having to really tune in to that person and pick up on their body language and what they're saying without saying it and all of that. It's exhausting. So
yes.
Pat, for people like you and me, we're having parallel conversations.
3 conversations. What are they saying? What are they not saying? And what is their body saying?
And it's second nature. Like, I don't really have to think about it. I'm just doing it. But that's why it is so exhausting.
Yeah, there's a kind of tsunami of information coming at you. So isn't it like that? And I had a lot of that today, which is great. You know, I feed off of that sometimes. But I also feel really drained after it because, like you don't even realize that you're doing it, but you're using. Usually, the most energy for me is used up trying to keep my face straight. And not raise an eyebrow.
Yes. Am I making a face? Am I making a face? I'm usually making a face.
It's my eyebrow. It's this eyebrow. So what happens is, you know, if somebody's telling me something and I don't believe, and there's a sub conversation, I'm like. You know, I can, and I'm constantly trying to think, is my face straight? Have I given that away? Yeah, hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Even this little, like your little facial, like I twitch, like my face twitches all the time, whether it's an eyebrow or you know, whatever. And you're right, it's so much work to be like, not give it all away.
Yeah. All of that good stuff. Good. So
all of that good
I
stuff.
cannot wait to hear how your Skype stuff goes. That'll be really good. And I think it'll be really good. Actually, I might use you as a case study again for the productivity.
Totally fine.
Yeah, because actually, you know, in terms of the course that we're talking about, you know, we're doing the productivity thing. It makes so much sense to me to kind of say, like, sometimes. Actually kind of sitting down and doing what would normally be your personal preference, as in, right, okay, that's lots of peopling thing, and I'll break that up. Actually, what is the benefit that outweighs? And for you this time, it's having those big chunks of days back to yourself, so kind of do it and get through it. So it's a really interesting kind of dichotomy, if you like, based on personal preferences, actually what will work that week.
Right. And it's only because I have this project that I want to get done. Like, yeah. I don't want to talk to 30 people over the course of 3 months. I want to talk to 30 people now so I can get to doing what I want to be doing.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait to, definitely tell you all about it. And you can use whatever you want for case study, as always. But, so that's a lot of the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about in our course. For you, for the productivity side. For me, it's really more about what social media networks do you need to be on. I feel like almost like a broken record because I keep talking to people about the same, but it's such a foundational, like, basic that people don't seem to really be able to wrap their heads around in a lot of ways because they're so busy with their business that they just don't have time to put the effort into getting the foundation of their social media together.
But, you know, I've been thinking about it recently, Kat, and my kind of take on it is what tends to happen is people set out in business. So the first thing they do is they go into Google University. And what they get is this information overload of post 3 times a day, post at this time, rather than the educational part, which is none of those things. And you're a kind of lone voice in that big space that is dominated by the wrong advice, unfortunately. So it's kind of trying to get that message out to the people who are right at the beginning, where you want to kind of say, this is all part of your sales funnel. This is not just something that sits over here in a silo and everything else happens over here. Right. They're inextricably linked. But until people make that connection, and unfortunately what happens is they get access to the wrong kind of information before they've had the educational part of it. And that's the biggest challenge, really. And that's what's so you're not sounding like a broken record. What you're trying to do.
The emperor has no clothes. The emperor has no clothes.
Yeah, I think we should just record that and play it everywhere. I want that as my ringtone.
Perfect. Perfect.
Because I've said
business idea.
Exactly. But I've told you this loads of times that when I was starting out, because I had no frame or point of reference,
right?
You kind of get caught up in the what everybody else is doing, and you assume wrongly that that's how you do things. It's a bit like me with the productivity and everybody thinking time management is about managing your diary and your calendar. No, it's about managing yourself, right? So we're kind of those lone voices of reason in amongst the noise of stuff that just gets churned up in Google University when you're searching for stuff, and it's that kind of battle. So not a broken record. One must keep preaching.
The people that I'm talking to, it's the people that they've started their own business, and they, they see the Pinterest infographic that's like that freaking. Have you seen the one where it's like the cat paws with the time?
No. I apologize if that's on one of my boards. Just tell me to delete it.
It might be on one of my old boards too, but it's like it's an infographic, and it's the best times to post on social media thing, and it's cat hand paws with watches on them all the way down, and they're colored differently for the different platforms. And this thing has gone everywhere, and I'm like, really? And it's like, well, post between 9 and 10 a.m. on Facebook. What time zone?
Exactly.
Oh, what? I mean, just simple. Like, how did you come to this information? Show me the evidence.
Yeah.
Show me the evidence. How did you come to this information? Where are you getting your stats from? Have you looked at your insights? When is your audience on Facebook? Do you want to be on Facebook when everybody else is on Facebook? Maybe you should be posting on it way earlier so you have less competition in the newsfeed. Like, there's so many basic things. And so the business owners that I talk to, they've done this whole like, okay, yeah, I need to be on social media, just like I need to have a website. I need to check a box. Okay, I'll get on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'll post the same shit across all of them according to this Pinterest infographic, and I'm good.
Yeah.
And then they don't see a return. They don't see the leads. They don't see the website traffic. They don't see the engagement. And it's like, well, what did you think you were going to, and I don't mean to be like chastising because you just don't know what you don't know, right? We all start from somewhere.
Yeah.
But these are also the business owners that want to pay somebody $5 to tweet for them.
Yeah.
Because they're checking a box, and they have no idea that social media is really about marketing. It's about your overall objectives. It's about storytelling. It's about, building your relationship with your fans and followers as the person behind the business or the feel of your business. Yeah. It is so much more than Facebook, check. Here's my auto-posted Instagram picture of my salad yesterday with 30 hashtags that I put on Facebook. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I can see you. I can see the blood boiling.
Yeah. Dan, hi. You just missed like an epic.
Oh, it was an epic
rant. I'm so sad you missed it.
It was an epic rant. I loved it. It's so frustrating. And I even get frustrated for you. And I'm not the social media gal. Do you know, I get so frustrated now because I've learned so much from you. And it's just stop with the vanity measures. Stop with the tick in a box. Actually step back and have a little think about what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're trying to achieve. And be social. We talk about this all the time. The clues in the blinking title. It's like, be social with me.
Be social on social media.
I know you're just trying to, but it's like that, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it drives me crazy. Or like, Okay, here's a good correlation. So you might not have known this about me, but in college, before I got picked up for my career, I worked at Victoria's Secret. Retail, job, whatever. And you'd have the guys that would come in and they'd be very uncomfortable and not really sure, you know, whatever, whether they were buying a gift or they whatever. And they would crack the joke of, oh, do you have this in my size? And it was like, I have never heard that before. You're a genius. Right. So that obvious, like you think nobody else has come up with that joke and you're, you know, whatever. So I will get the people that I'll talk to about their potential clients or their whatever. And they'll do the whole, so I'm going to have 30,000 new Facebook followers in a month, right? And I'm like,
yeah. It's like, are you that popular in the real world?
Right. You're not that cool. But you're right. The whole vanity metrics thing where it's like, do you really want to pay? You can pay for followers and they'll be in China and they won't engage with you or any other, you know, wherever, that it really doesn't matter if they're following you because they're never going to engage with you. And I had this conversation with a potential client the other day where I said, would you rather have 10,000 followers on Twitter that really don't engage with you and don't buy anything? Or would you rather have 100 followers, 50 of which sign up for every webinar, buy your stuff, buy, you know, whatever it is? Like it's just it seems obvious, but people don't think that way.
You're right. It's because they're conditioned. And I always say it's kind of like, you want fans, not fandangos. You know, you want the people who are going to buy your stuff. And I'm going to admit this to you. I haven't told you this yet, but this just shows you the depth of damage that has been done by vanity measures on me. So this week, a strange thing happened. And Cara, you know this, but I've got a little quiz on my website. You fill it in, you get a result. And then to get the result, you have to share your email address. It's a give situation, right? So suddenly I had all these people signing up for my quiz. And I thought, instead of saying, oh my God, it's finally been shared and it's out there, I did something's not right there. Something's not right about that.
Can't possibly be happening.
Too many people, I must be getting spammed, right? So I'm not kidding. So the result lands on a lead page. I contacted lead pages and said, you know, title of the email was Upsurge in Activity, right? And they came back to me and they were just like, Kat, really? Like, we can't stop spam bots, but, you know, people are signing up for your like quiz, but couldn't accept it because I'm so not about the vanity measures, and really, so really still having a hard time. Still, people are signing up. I'm like, what's happening? Of course, the lead pages, whilst they give you the analytics, they don't give you the source. I don't think so. I don't think you can see where the source of the traffic's coming from. So, of course, stupid me.
I'm guessing they had a good laugh over at the water cooler over that one.
Must have thought I was crazy. You know, most people are like, give me those vanity metrics, I'm happy. Whereas these were real people. And I thought, you know, but it just shows you the depth of damage that I'm at the opposite extreme of not believing in vanity measures. Therefore, I am so suspicious when activity, because I track everything. I'm like, if something changes and it changes dramatically, question mark, not happy, what's going on there, need to understand more. But I think many people are, as you say, interested in the tick the box, that little number going skywards in whatever platform and thinking that everything's good. And actually there's no conversations. I will admit that I did a test with my Twitter feed starting, was it the tail end of last year or beginning of this year? And my Twitter feed has gone through the roof. Yeah, there's a whole cack in there as well. But I can strip it down now and at least I've got something that I can analyse. There's somebody who I follow and they get no engagement. And the reason they don't, when I had a look at their Twitter feed, they post only about themselves. Nobody engages because nobody wants to hear you banging on about your own stuff all the time, you know. And the big thing for me was sharing other people's stuff. We've talked about this before, the 80-20 rule, rule to follow. share other people's stuff, and then, you know, kind of sprinkle your own links in there or your own bits and pieces. That has changed things dramatically for me. But it is interesting when I use the same kind of thought process and analytics going looking elsewhere. I'm thinking that's why you're not having a conversation. Nobody wants to speak to you because you're selfish. You know?
Because you're only thinking about yourself. You're not having a conversation.
It's alien to me that people confuse social media as, again, this thing in a silo.
Horn.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I need to still get that as a ringtone, but let you go.
I know. The emperor has no clothes. The emperor has no clothes.
Genius.
And I forget because I do this and I'm teaching this, things that seem so obvious to me. I have somebody that's going through my course right now. That's the content calendar course and how to build that all out and do scheduling and whatever. And part of what I teach in that is Feedly.
Yeah.
Because I subscribe to the 80-20 rule. So, you know, how do you find really great content, quality content to share around your industry that you can have conversations about and develop relationships with people in your industry? And it seems so obvious to me, but this person who's going through my course was like, I had no idea, and this was worth the price of the course, just this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which of course makes me feel good because I'm like, oh, it really is valuable. Yay. You know, but you forget when you do it day in and day out that other people don't know how to do that. No.
And that's your strength. This is what I talk about all the time is people's, how do you define your strengths? It's the stuff that you do every day that you're brilliant at, that you think is so straightforward. Somebody's going to like kind of rat you out for getting paid. Right? It's so easy. Do you know, it's so easy for you. Whereas actually social media for me is just a minefield. I've learned an awful lot, obviously, because you.
Right.
But that, what? But that is the truth. And it is a minefield unless you know that. And I think that's where the difficulty lies when you're an expert in your field. And then it's trying to kind of almost keep the balance of keeping it basic enough for people to understand, and then there's always that advanced layer for people who have moved on a little bit from it. But you forget that everybody's new to it at some point. And as I've said at the beginning, the information that's out there is just mind-numbingly wrong. And actually, when you talked about that infographic, I'm going to go looking for that now purely because there's cat paws on it. But
so bad. It's so horrible.
Yeah, but probably whoever's done that has actually taken it from somebody else who's done the same thing and added their own twist onto it because that's what they believe to be true. It's like the Flat Earth Society. You know, the people who still think that Earth is completely flat, and you're just seriously really not. So it's the same, same.
And that's one of the reasons that I have a really hard time with some of these webinars, going back to the whole like skeezy part of it, whatever, where they talk for 20 minutes about what you're going to learn, or, you know, what they're doing the whole upsell thing. Is my investigator brain kicks in and I'm like, I don't really know that you're going to teach me something that is actually based in fact, that is actually based in analytics, that is actually based in here's how you do it and here's the results.
Yeah.
If you can't convince me that this is actually, you know, how to, and this is why, and the nitty gritty of it versus post on Pinterest 10 times a day and make sure it's about food and weddings and you'll get so much blog traffic.
Yeah.
No.
It's like it should be banned. It should be a crime.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I mean, it works. People fall for it, and it, you know, whatever. But
yeah, I think it's fallen into that trap of you don't know what you don't know, and if that's all you see out there, that's the story. That's the story that you believe, and it's really difficult to undo that for people. So that's why we're here. We're trying to undo all the myths that exist in the universe and Google.
All of them.
we will take on that burden, people.
Right.
I know I did laugh at this the other day, so a shameless plug again. But yeah, Solopreneur Guide. So our course that's coming up, people, we've talked about webinars and we hate the name and shameless plug, but
right.
Solopreneur Guide, yes, we are that confident that's the only guide that you'll ever need.
That's the only thing you'll ever need, right? How to be productive, how to use social media marketing. You don't need to do anything else in your business, really. Of
course you don't. All your sales funnels like and getting your stuff done, back again. Can you hear feedback?
Yeah, I hear a little feedback.
I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. Dan, how are you? What's going on? Hi, Leslie. Dan, I know, doing fab. I love it. In a non-public forum, Dan, you know who I used to work for in a social media manager capacity. And oh my God, the vanity metrics conversations. Oh.
What done I? Can you hear me now, by the way?
Yes. I don't hear any feedback. Dan, true. You can only, I can't even. But just trying to convince, so just in general, not even pointing to a specific person, but just in general, trying to convince somebody that gaining more followers month on top of month on top of month is not the same thing as people engaging and then actually going and buying your t-shirt or your album or your whatever it is. Like they're two totally different things. Trying to have that conversation with somebody that only cares about, or whether it's a business owner or a celebrity or whomever it is, it's very difficult. And it's kind of one of those, like, you can lead over, but you can't make them drink. And I'm kind of at the point in my business where if I'm like working so hard to try and convince somebody why vanity metrics don't matter, they're probably not my client. Like, I'm willing to have the conversation. I'm willing to give them that education and to talk them through it. But if they are like digging their heels in,
I don't know.
Okay, I'm not the right,
Can anybody still see me and hear me?
Sorry, I can't see you, but I can kind of hear you. Oh boy, what is going on?
Because you're just trying to confuse us. That's all that's happening.
I know, right?
So yeah, you can still hear me. So Cara has disappeared off the planet, which is not good. When
I can still hear and see me.
I think that's exactly what happened, because I was listening there, and now I don't know where to put the thread. Here she's coming back. Here she's coming back in, leaving me on my own. You were in the middle of a rant, as Dan said, it made you implode.
I don't see Dan saying that. I don't see. Wow. Blab needs to get its shit together. Excuse my French, but this is like, stop wasting my mother effing time, Blab.
Strike two. I'm still getting feedback as well.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But I was going to say, Dan, I know that you just went through kind of that soul searching of who's my ideal client, who do I want to be working with, what's best for my business, and what do I want to be doing. Oh, Dan is, yes, sorry. You're just part of the tribe. It's just, yeah.
Sorry.
And I'm curious as to whether that has changed what you've decided to do on social media. I know that you do some stuff on Google Plus, and some other places. I know you don't blog a whole lot, but I'm curious as to whether your slight shift in focus as to your target audience and your ideal client has changed what you're doing on social. So if you want to answer me, cool. I'm just curious. Because I wax poetic about the whole, like, you need to be where your target audience is, right? And people will tell me, well, I hate Twitter. Okay, I don't care if you hate Twitter. If your target audience is on Twitter, figure it out. Know it, love it, learn it. And that's the only way you're going to make social media effective for your business, is if you're where your target audience is. Again, it's kind of one of those, like, it seems to be obvious to me, but it never fails that I have this conversation and somebody goes, oh, Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Leslie, thank you. Yes, you went back to Facebook, opened an Instagram account, dropped Twitter. I love it. I love it. Dan, you're phenomenal. You are phenomenal.
You know, Cara, it was funny. The other day I was at an event and I actually felt as if I was invoking your spirit, because somebody was actually saying, "Oh, I really need to get a handle on Twitter or whatever," and it was out my mouth. You've trained me so well. I'm like, where's your target audience? Where is your target audience?
You need to walk around with a spotlight, like the interview, and be like,
"Oh, I'm going to get a big banner," honestly. And it was, I was so proud of myself, and I thought, I bet your ears are burning right now, because I'm like that. Do you know you need to be
what your target audience is? Know it, learn it, love it, figure it out. So, Dan, I love that. I actually just did the same thing. I pulled out of Google Plus because it's not where I need to be posting. It's not who I want to be working with. But I will tell you, don't boost a Facebook post. You are better off creating a separate ad, even if it's a small dollar amount. Boosting a post, it just doesn't work as well. The targeting is not as great. So if there is a post that you want to put some ad dollars behind, don't boost it, create a separate ad and put the bucks there. So just advice, take it or leave it. But
that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we've got Cara. As our resident expert, because she knows.
Yes, I try. Facebook ads is like it's a whole industry in and of itself. So I'm not as up on paid ads as I am with social media strategy in general, but I'm learning more and more about it. Yeah, crazy powerful inside Facebook ads, Chris. You're totally right. And, just not enough hours in the day to know everything about everything, although I wish I could. But I do know enough to get a good return on my investment.
Funny about the Facebook ads there and just the boosting of posts and things. Again, just touching on my conversation earlier and my admitting to contacting lead pages. I had literally just done Facebook ads maybe about 3 weeks ago, just, the usual, excuse me, dabbling and testing and see what worked. And I didn't really get much, so I was kind of shutting them down because they were costing me quite a lot more than what I wanted them to. And then there you go, through no advertising alone, I have this upsurge. As I say, still not convinced lead pages that it's all genuine, but I'm sure it is. But yeah, so pay. I know, I get genuinely scared for life. Scared for life. That's how much a vanity metric goes against my grain when I get a proper sign up and legitimate. I question. I can't even accept it with good grace.
That's amazing.
Oh dear, how not to do it there.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. I'm talking my throat here. So yeah, so I was interested when you said about the Facebook boosting a post, not to do that, to create something different. And is it just about, I know you said you're still kind of getting your head around stuff, Cara, but is it just because of the reach that you get? You said that you're not getting the same reach, but Facebook are like, oh, give me some money.
It's not the same reach. The targeting isn't quite as fine-tuned, I think, as it is within Power Editor. Which is the back end of Facebook ads. It's like almost like another platform. It's kind of crazy. And you have the opportunity to do some more testing if you do standalone ads. So instead of, well, okay, this post did great, so I'm going to put $20 behind it. I mean, which is okay. Instead, what you could do in Facebook ads is put $10 behind one creative, and Dan, you'd be great at this because, creative and graphic design is it's your bag, baby. Put $10 behind one creative and $10 behind another. Watch it for a couple days, see which one does better. Take the one down that isn't doing as well, and put the rest of the money behind the one that's doing better, and then change your targeting. And the opportunities for testing are just so much more. Yeah. I could talk about that. So I'm all about, and that I'm all about testing. And so what I like to do with ads is you change one thing at a time. Yeah. So I start with the visual because that's what makes people stop scrolling, right? So do two different, whatever you call it, creatives, the visual, the graphic design, turn off whichever one isn't performing as well. And then, so, okay, you've got your creative, you've got your visual, then do two different ad sets with two different targeting, even if it's just a difference in age or a difference in, their interests or their spending habits or whatever it is. So you change, it's scientific testing. You change one aspect at a time, watch it for a few days, I would say give it at least 2 to 3, if not 4, if you can afford it. Turn off whatever isn't working, go on to the next test. And you can't do that with boosting. So it's almost like if I'm going to put money behind it, I want to know that I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing and I'm testing it in a methodical way, not just I'm going to throw $20 at something and see if it works.
Yeah, I think that's where
pixel tracking.
Yeah, that's where I've fallen foul before, is changing too many things at once, and then you've got no idea what worked or what didn't work.
Right.
And it's just having the patience, as you say, to kind of, I know you use Squarespace, but it's like having a WordPress site. When something goes awry, when you have just recently updated your theme and you have to go in and continually turn on and off plugins to work out which one is causing the shenanigans. So it's kind of like the same thing, but it's just that reducing the number of variables down and just changing one thing at a time. So that makes sense to me.
Right. Yeah, and Chris, you mentioned Facebook pixels. So for anybody that doesn't know, and I'm still wrapping my head around the pixel thing too, the Facebook pixel is basically their version of Google Analytics. It's their tracking code that you embed in your website in different places. And you could make an entire career out of helping people figure out how to use Facebook pixels effectively, because you can use it on checkout pages, or you can get so incredibly specific on exactly what you're tracking on conversions on your website. I think a really top level way to start with it is just retargeting people that have already been on your website. So I like to think of it as a retargeting tool, and it will pull out that information. And you can say, okay, anybody who's visited my website, I want to retarget them for a specific ad. But you can start getting so specific as anybody that's put something in their cart on my page, if you have, e-commerce or whatever, but hasn't actually checked out. That kind of stuff. You get really, really in depth with how to do that. So, anyway, I have no idea why I started on that rant. Oh, because Dan, you said you boosted a post, and I was like, oh, wait, no. So anyway, I absolutely love that you had the foresight to change what you were doing on social media based on your target audience. Oh, we lost Kat. Blab has disappointed me in the following ways today. Seriously. Come back, Kat. Come back. Here we go. Are you back? You're back. I know. There's going to be something else in this coffee mug really soon. So I was just wrapping up with, I think it's amazing that Dan had the foresight to change what he was doing on social based on changing his target audience.
Sure.
And I have been screaming that from the rooftops for months and months and months and months. Everybody thinks of, oh, you need to be on Facebook. Well, do you really? Or is it really more a better use of your time to, be on Facebook, but really be in Facebook groups, because that's how you're going to expand your audience and build relationships? Do you really need to have a page? I am actually considering whether or not I want to not shut down my Facebook business page, but pretty much say my party isn't here. It's over on Instagram, or it's over on Pinterest, or whatever. I'm toying with that. So it, again, it comes back to that foundational element of, where's your target audience? What do you want to be saying? What are your marketing objectives? And how are you planning on converting these fans and followers? Because who gives a shit if 10,000 people follow you on Twitter? If nobody's buying anything, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
Right?
Expensive hobby. expensive hobby.
You have an expensive hobby, right? And it's taking time away from other things you need to be doing in your business. Thank you. Yes, I'm all ranty today. I'm seriously ranty. So, are you back, Kat?
Feedback.
No, I can hear you. I can't see you.
Oh God.
I know. I've got a total wild hair today, Dan. Totally, yeah.
Can you still?
So anyway, I don't really know what else to say about that. I think I'm ranted out.
Can you still hear me, Cara?
I can hear you perfectly well.
Yeah, sorry everybody about that. Just Blab, get your shit together and stop annoying us.
Siri. Leslie, thank you for joining us. Are you in one of our groups? Do you know Kat? How did you find us? Tell me.
Yes. You should just drop your link in there just now, Cara. Drop your
link?
Drop your link and then I'll do mine. So.
You don't know, haha.
You don't know where you found it?
Right. You heard there were two ranty chicks over on Blab, just like...
It might be the trickery of those lead pages weirdness again thing.
Right? The whole, like, oh, it works. Oh, your website. Yeah. So, full circle, we're doing a free webinar / mini course / info bomb in a couple weeks, all about productivity and social media. So
I can't hear a thing now.
I got a notification, so I must have followed you for a second. Nice. That's cool. That's what I was there for. And we're going to be talking about all things, productivity. How do you deal, whether you're a solopreneur, a brand or business, whatever, how do you stay on track? How do you manage? It's not time management, it's self-management is Kat's thing, which I wholeheartedly believe in. And then I'll be doing my whole social media spiel about, learn it, love it. Wherever it is that your target audience is, you need to be on there and you need to be engaging and social and sharing and conversing and all of these things that are not a waste of time if you're doing it correctly. But that does not mean that you need to be scrolling through Facebook all day. Actually, one of the best things that I've done lately is taken off notifications on my phone for pretty much everything. Obviously, as social media is my business, I need to be knowing what's going on my clients' pages and whatever. But learning how to not get distracted by social media in other ways goes all that good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And just throw away.
Are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me? No. This is so frustrating. Yeah. Let's give up.
Here is yeah. Are you there? No. Okay. I think, and she's gone. I think that's a sign that we need to
hello. Yeah. I don't know if you can see me or even if you can hear me.
I can see.
So just to say thank you for putting up with all the techie crappiness tonight. Yes. Thank you for being
no idea whether this will actually record because the last several Blabs have not recorded and so people can't watch the replay.
Yeah. And on that note, let's just wrap it up right there. Okay,
thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for participating and hanging out and chatting with us. And are we going to be back next week? Maybe, if Blab doesn't piss me off.
Let's just call it a day and we'll see what happens.
We'll call it a day. Dan, thank you. Let me know. Dan, let me know if you start testing that stuff with ads and what you're finding. I would love to hear your results and see if you're following up on that. Cool beans. All right.
Okay.
Happy Thursday, everyone. See you later.